Well, as Lance Allen just told you moments ago, it is a beautiful night for football. Low 70s. Humidity, though, a little bit high, over 80%. Browns won the toss. They have deferred. The Packers will receive. Full house. Great night. Good temperature to get some work done for both these teams, Rich Gannon.
And tempo important early, Kevin. The Packers will get the ball to start on offense. Joe Callahan needs to come out, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the moment.
Travis Coons will be kicking off. Aberderis is deep back along with Hyde for Green Bay. Last year, Cleveland 3-13. Packers were 10-6, and away we go. Aberderis will bring it out. And to about the 15-yard line on an 18-yard return. And here we go with rookie free agent Joe Callahan.
Well, Kevin, we had to do some research and really go back and dig a little bit on Joe Callahan. He played against teams like Frostburg State and Southern Virginia and Montclair State. Not exactly the Bears, Lions, and Vikings. So this is going to be a great opportunity for him with the absence of Aaron Rodgers tonight. Brett Hundley out with an ankle injury. It's a great opportunity for him to show Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson that he's capable of being on this roster.
He's got Eddie Lacy in the backfield. In motion is Devontae Adams with the 1st and 10. And this is Lacy. He was hit, brought down by Nick Hayden, who played for the Badgers. It is a gain of 6. He's up to the 21-yard line.
I could see Eddie Lacy, Kevin, getting a lot of work throughout the preseason. Obviously we talked at great length in the open about the challenges that he had last year. Obviously he was playing like a top 5 NFL back in 2014. His season last year was a washout. The injury early, the weight issue. The extra weight affects the quickness and the stamina. This guy needs to get some touches throughout the preseason.
With the 2nd down and 4. This is Lacy once again. Bottled up, as you can see, hit by a couple, including Danny Shelton, a 1st-round pick out of Washington last year. Gain of 3 on the play. Up to the 24-yard line. His weight has been a conversation for not only Mike McCarthy, but the entire NFL community.
Yeah, I think what happens, especially at that position, Kevin, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does affect your quickness, especially for a bigger back like Eddie Lacy.
And he had kind of a down season compared with what he'd done the first 2 years.
No question. And he's a guy that can really help him, not just in the running game, but the passing game as well.
2 tight ends, 3rd and 1. Lacy's got the 1st and into the secondary. He was brought down by Jordan Poyer. He picks up 11, running between the guards, and gets a Green Bay 1st down to the 35.
How about that? 3 straight runs from the Packers, all of them featuring Eddie Lacy. And we talked about the importance of getting him going early, getting the confidence back. Kevin, it was a difficult year for him, and he needs to get his confidence back carrying the rock.
Mike McCarthy told us this morning getting back to running the ball is our focus in the preseason with 2 tight ends. You're going to see a lot of that. It is a 1st and 10, Lacy. Hit by a couple, including Kruger, who lets him go for 4 up to the Green Bay 39.
And with all the rules now and the restrictions and the fact you can't have all these padded practices, Mike talked about, it's a real challenge to develop a running game in training camp. You don't get enough of the quality reps in training camp, and so this is a real opportunity, these 4 preseason games, to really crank up the effort and the intensity with your running game.
Starks is in. Jared Cook has been playing on this first series. They got him as a free agent during the offseason. 2nd down and 6 for Callahan. Starks with the Richard Rodgers block. About the 43, and once again with the stop was Nick Hayden from Portland, Wisconsin, gain of 4.
And keep in mind, they're going up against a Cleveland defense that was 30th in run defense last year. It's been a weakness of theirs for too many years. The change coordinators, Ray Horton comes in on Hugh Jackson's staff, a guy that is very familiar, was their coordinator a couple of years ago, but they have to get better with their run defense, and it starts inside.
Starks remain. 3rd and 2.
Richard Rodgers jumped early.
He did. Ed Hockley is our referee tonight here at Lambeau.
False start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, it's 3rd down.
Richard Rodgers, who had 58 receptions a season ago for Green Bay, and the tight end becomes more of a focus than maybe it's been in a couple years for the Packers.
Well, Kevin, I think in order for this offense to really get to that next level, they need better production and consistency out of the tight end position. Mike McCarthy talked to us a little bit earlier about the addition of Jared Cook. They haven't had that tight end that can really get vertical up the seams since Jermichael Finley. And I think Cook can be that guy for the Packers.
5 in the secondary, 3rd and 7. They need the 45. They go outside. There's Cook. He's got the first down, catch and run, 46. He picks up 8 on 3rd and 7. Callahan converting the play, that 3rd down play for Green Bay.
And let's talk a little bit about Jared Cook. Kevin, you and I did a lot of his games over the years with the Tennessee Titans, the St. Louis Rams. It's a very good route runner, does a nice job using his body to create some separation, can run the routes versus man-to-man, has a good feel for the type of coverage, and I think he's a tight end that can really work and do some damage in the middle of the field.
He had some preventative foot surgery back in June, just came off the PUP list Tuesday, 7th play of the Green Bay drive. 1st and 10, Starks. Leading his way to the 49-yard line, hit by a couple, picks up 3, tackled by Kirksey.
Now, I thought it was interesting when you and I sat down with Mike McCarthy earlier today, Kevin. He talked about controlling the tempo. One of the things that really frustrated him last year was that when he gave up the play calling duties, he wasn't able to control the flow, the tempo of the game. He's right there on the field. He's able to control the substitutions and the tempo with which they play offensively, which is so important.
2nd down and 7. Timeout taken by the Packers here on this game-opening drive. Our first quarter clock is at 10:20 as you take a look at Mike. Play calling last year, gave it up for the first 12 games, took over the final 4. But here you can see him right here calling the plays on this drive, and he'll start the season that way.
Really a surprise, Kevin. You and I talked about it at great length last year. I thought it was a big mistake. He's one of the best in the business at calling plays, and he gave it up a year ago.
Well, I'm going to talk about that with you when we come back to Lambeau on the Packers Television Network.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Wisconsin Lottery, Menards, Wisconsin Dental Association, Toyota, Mills Fleet Farm, and Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
The center tonight for the Packers is J.C. Tretter. We didn't get into this. He is battling an illness, but he is starting at the center because Corey Lindsley is still on the PUP list with a hamstring. So Tretter at the center, regular starters on the line. Timeout by the Packers moments ago. 2nd and 7. Game opening drive, Starks with a block on the play from Lang, and he works his way to the Browns 47 as he picks up 3 on the play and the tackle made by Nate Orchard.
7 runs, 1 pass so far for the Packers. And Kevin, when you're running the ball as well as the Packers are right now, it really opens up some opportunities for the play action game. Keep an eye on that.
As Mike said, Rich, he said running the ball in the preseason is our primary thought.
They want better balance offensively, and I think it really starts with an emphasis on running the football, especially in the preseason.
Here's a 3rd and 4. They got Cook, the tight end, with a pass on 3rd and 7 earlier in the drive. Converted the first. 3rd and 4 right now. Starts a block. Pressure on Callahan. Needs the 44 on the fly and out of bounds and incomplete. As he was going downfield and looking for second-year receiver Ty Montgomery. It's 4th down. They got a punt.
Well, the Browns bring internal pressure, and Joe Callahan does a pretty nice job getting outside the rush. Now, here's where I think he makes the mistake. He can pick up the first down. There's no one in front of him. He only needed to get a couple yards there. He'll go back and look at that one and wish he had it back. Can't be afraid to make some plays with your legs outside the pocket.
Breeze at the back of Tim Massey to punt for Green Bay. Tramon Williams is back with heavy pressure. Punter gone down. There goes a flag.
That'll be a first down.
And the fair catch at the 8 with the good hang time on the play. And you're right. It's going to be on the Browns and a 40-yard punt, but a flag with a look at first-year Cleveland head coach Hugh Jackson.
Running into the kicker. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, which results in a first down.
Because it was 4th and 4 for the Pack.
And this was close. I mean, there was some pressure up inside. Not enough to block the punt, but you see right afterwards, clearly they run into the kicker. Hugh Jackson trying to change the culture and the environment in Cleveland. Talked about becoming a smarter football team, not putting yourself in these situations where you make critical errors in the kicking game.
People have talked, Jackson was the coach back in 2011 of the 8-8 Oakland Raiders. He comes from Cincinnati, where he worked so well with Andy Dalton and the terrific offense with the Bengals.
He's had a lot of success as a play caller and really developing young quarterbacks in this league.
Here is the inverted wishbone with a 42-yard line at Cleveland. 1st and 10 starts. Knifed his way to the 39. And on the play picks up 3.
You know, this offensive line, Kevin, you like nothing more than to come off on the football and really run at somebody. Go north and south, really pound them, and really set the tone up front with the running game. This is a veteran offensive line. They're healthy right now with the exception of the center. 2 good guards, 2 good tackles, and some real healthy competition when you look at what they did in the draft.
Good way to start for the Pack. 6-minute drive, Rich. 2nd down and 7.
Here's the play action.
It was there, and Lacey with the fake in time for Callahan, and deflected incomplete. Looking for Jared Eberderis, the Badger, incomplete inside the 25.
We knew it was just a matter of time before they took a shot. Good play action fake. You see Eberderis, he's covered. You see the underneath coverage from Tremont Williams, a former Packer, but the depth of the linebackers. You see Davis there made it very difficult for Joe Callahan to squeeze that one in.
Rich talked about this before. The Browns were 27th in defense a season ago, 30th against the run, 22nd against the pass. New defensive coordinator, though, in Ray Horton. And he loves to bring pressure. 3rd and 7. Lacey in. Bakhtiari the block, and Callahan overshoots Eberderis on the near side. With coverage on the play in the secondary by Jamar Taylor. And the Packers will send their punting unit back out on the field.
You look at Eberderis, good-looking player, Kevin. He just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Very short-handed receiver, very disciplined route runner. And he's got that size and the length that you like at the wide receiver position.
So Nastey out to punt once again for Green Bay, and Tremont Williams, a former Packer, back at the 10. With a little breeze at his back, and Saber stepped on the line. Yep, just about had some footwork there, and Quentin Rollins was the one to catch it and play the special teams. With a 39-yard punt, Robert Griffin III comes out for the Browns, scoreless in the 1st at Lambeau. The former Heisman Trophy winner at Baylor, Robert Griffin III, was at Washington. Now he is a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
And Kevin, they need to find their franchise quarterback. They've rolled out 24 different starting quarterbacks since 1999. Hugh Jackson trying to resurrect the career of Robert Griffin III. Jay Gruden didn't believe he could function from the pocket with the Redskins. He had his struggles. This is a new lease on life for RG3, a chance to really show people that he can get back to playing like he did when he was the Rookie of the Year with the Redskins.
With a 1st and 10. Offset eye. Gun. Griffin 1st and 10. Whoa, he's going deep. Right off the bat, and he's caught his receiver. That's Terrell Pryor, the former Buckeye quarterback. And Griffin took a shot, but completes a long one for 50 yards and a 1st down to the Green Bay 31.
Well, Terrell Pryor, Kevin, has been a great story. You and I did some of his games when he was the quarterback, the starting quarterback of the Oakland Raiders with Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, right.
He's worked very hard to make the position change, to learn how to play wide receiver in this game, and that's a great effort on the opening play for the Browns.
He beats Randall on the play, 1st and 10. Crowell in the backfield. Oh, and a fumble. And Griffin's got it. And wisely hits the net with a loss of 3 back to the Green Bay 34.
These are the things that, Robert Griffin saying it's my fault. You can't have those type of mistakes. You have an explosive play to start the game, then you've got a footwork issue, a simple mechanic. You can't take the footwork in the running game for granted. The back has a landmark that he has to hit. It's imperative that RG3 get on the ball deep.
2nd down, 13. Packers with 5 in their secondary. Griffin, and that's the terrific tight end, Gary Barnidge. His first Pro Bowl a season ago. He's a 9-year veteran. Picks up 7. He's down to the Green Bay 27-yard line.
We also had the opportunity to talk to defensive coordinator Dom Capers today. A couple things he talked about. Consistency overall from this defense. It has to be better. the improvement with their run defense, and finally eliminating the explosive plays. They got hit on one early in the game. He said, if we can just limit the explosive plays, we'll be tough. Be a tough defense to score on.
3rd and 6. Up the middle, pressure. And caught. Pryor again makes the grab. 1st down. Green Bay's 19. Gain of 7 on 3rd and 6.
And this is what Robert Griffin has to do. Sit in there with a tough jaw and be willing to take the hits.
66 reports eligible.
Nick Perry got him that time, huh?
Yeah, Nick Perry. Got to be able to sit in there and keep your eyes downfield and not be distracted by the rush.
Some personnel things now for the Packers. Guyan comes back out on the field. 1st and 10. Extra lineman. Corral. Drill. What a nice hit coming from the secondary with the rack that time. A terrific grab by the linebacker Joe Thomas. Loss of 2.
And it started with great penetration. You're going to see it early. Back has nowhere to go, and before he knows what hits him, Joe Thomas is sitting there waiting for him in the hole. You saw the penetration from Jaron Elliott that forced the back to have to cut it back up inside.
Joe Thomas, a former practice squad player for the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd down and 12. Big play here, a 49-yard completion to Pryor. Griffin, deep and intercepted! Picked off by Hyde! What a pick at the 1! Green Bay will take over.
I'm not so sure that the tight end Gary Barnidge was even looking for the ball as he ran down the middle of the field. Terrific play by Micah Hyde.
Micah Hyde had 3 picks a season ago, but none prettier than that right there. On RG3, Packers take over. Scoreless in the 1st from Lambeau. Packers had 16 interceptions a season ago. Good for 9th in the NFL. They've got their 1st of the preseason. Hyde with the diving pick at the 1.
And Micah Hyde, Kevin, gives the Packers great versatility. He can play at all 3 levels of the defense. You see quarterback here trying to fit this one right down the seam. Micah Hyde beats the tight end to the ball, and just an instinctive play by a talented player.
Think about returns with Hyde.
Does a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot of things. Wears a lot of hats on this team.
Shows up in run support, can play man-to-man, can play at all 3 levels of the defense.
What do you think of RG3, Rich? You've had a chance to watch actually a lot of him over his very short career in the NFL.
I don't think there's any question he has a lot of the intangibles you like at the quarterback position, Kevin. He still has great mobility, great athleticism, terrific arm talent. The one area where he has to improve is his accuracy, his decision-making, and his pocket presence. I want to see him calm his feet a little bit, sit in there, take that extra hitch and throw the ball, not look to run all the time when things break down around him.
Well, with the turnover, there is a review, and they're checking a couple things. Number 1, did he control the ball when he hit? It appeared he did. And number 2, is he on the goal line? And could that then mean, Rich, it would be touchback out to the 20-yard line and not stranded at the 1?
I think he's in the field of play, and I think he clearly has possession of the football.
You're exactly right.
The ruling on the field stands as called. Green Bay's ball at the 1-yard line, 1st down.
And that is driven by the game situation. Turnovers, scores automatically get reviewed.
Poor starting field position for the Packers. The first drive, their own 15. This drive, their 1-yard line, and a chance for the rookie quarterback to make some hay.
So Callahan played Division III at Western. He was a D3Football.com All-American. Undrafted. Rich gave you some nice numbers before the game.
Very accurate, Kevin. Completed almost 65% of his passes, threw for almost 13,000 yards during his college career.
Then the 2 tight ends. Ripkowski is in as the fullback. John Kuhn now no longer here with New Orleans. Starks hit in the end zone. Safety Cleveland. Nice play. And they had a couple guys in there, including Jamie Meter.
Then you're going to see Meter's going to beat. Actually, they have a mistake up front. They don't even block Meter, Kevin. They turn him loose on the goal line. Watch the center. They go the wrong way. I mean, for some reason, they don't block the nose tackle. I have no idea what happened up front between Barkley and the guard.
Starks, coming off a terrific season a year ago, had no place to run, no place to hide, something that Mike is not going to enjoy watching, but a teaching moment for his Packer offense. Got a blown assignment.
We never want to have mistakes, especially that part of the field. Talk about the importance of communication up front. There's so many different line calls, and a lot of the Packers' running game is predicated on the quarterback making the call at the line of scrimmage. It's a check with me system. They want to run it to the 3 technique or to the reduction or to away from a down safety. That's why it's really important. It starts with the quarterback and it works its way up and down that offensive line.
Rookie free agent Peter Mortel from Green Bay and the University of Minnesota will punt after the safety. You saw the ball bobbled. It is loose. Green Bay says they've got it. It was bobbled on the play by Mostert. And it is a fumble by Raheem Mostert, who is back to retrieve the punt after the safety. And Chris Banjo, who's a terrific special teams player, led special teams and tackles a year ago, vacuums it in.
We never had possession of it. Terrific play there. You see the good coverage. Alert play by Chris Banjo.
With a happy Peter Mortel, whose dad, ironically
enough, it's a good way to
enough,
start your career, isn't it?
Yeah, his dad runs the clock at Lambeau Field, and his grandpa used to run the clock at Lambeau Field. So it's a...
And he used to work at Lambeau Field,
he did,
right?
up in the press box,
Isn't that
handing
great?
out statistics to the media. Quotes, 1st and 10. Callahan from the Cleveland 35. And that is caught by Cook. Second catch tonight. And he'll be taken down by Raheem Moore. He's down to the 33, and he picks up a couple yards.
Well, I know this about Jared Cook, Kevin. He's never played with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
No.
This is a, if you're a tight end in football, you want to come to the Green Bay Packers. It's a quarterback that's as accurate as there is in the profession and as talented as there is in the game. And he's going to catch a lot of footballs this year from Aaron Rodgers.
Don Barkley is the new center, and we've got new linemen too. 2nd down and 8 from the Cleveland 33. Callahan. There he goes, and he finds his tight end once again. Cook at about the 29. Put on the play by Tank Carter. There is a flag at the 42-yard line of the Browns.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
That's Lane Taylor, who picks it up with a look at Aaron Rodgers.
When I first came into the National Football League, I played for a head coach named Jerry Burns, who coached on Vince Lombardi's staff right here in Green Bay.
Yes, he did.
And he told me as a young quarterback, if you don't throw it to the tight end at least 10 times a game, you have no idea what you're doing. He says you never go broke taking a profit. The tight end is always open over the middle of the field. I never forgot that. Probably didn't throw it to the tight end enough.
Matt Rotherham is the right guard. Josh Walker is the right tackle. 2nd down and 18. Callahan dumping it off, caught by Crockett. And then he has the open field tackle on him by Nassib. Rookie out of Penn State, 3rd-round pick. It is a gain in 7, catch and run to the 36-yard line.
Well, that's a good-looking screen and a great effort. Nice job by the quarterback looking it off. You see the offensive line get out in front. Crockett was on his way, if not for great effort by Carl Nassib.
Jason Spriggs is the left tackle. We've already talked about Lane Taylor, the left guard. So that sets up the offensive line. 3rd and 11. They need the Cleveland 25. Crockett a block. And incomplete, looking for Montgomery. With the coverage downfield from Cleveland's Derek Hendrick, rookie out of TCU.
And he threw right into the teeth of the blitz. I think the big challenge, Kevin, for a quarterback like Joe Callahan is the speed of the game. I mean, it's so much different than the Division III football. Things happen so much quicker. The windows open and close, which you think is a receiver that's covered really isn't. And that's going to be the challenge for him to be able to fit the ball into some tight windows at this level.
Crosby's going to try a 54-yard field goal. Slight breeze at his back. The holder is Mastic. It's got distance. It's got accuracy, and the Packers are on top here in the top of the first, 3-2. 3:06 in the
This
first
baseball
quarter.
or football?
We're in the middle of baseball season with a football tint from 54. Crosby nails it. So the Packers beginning their preseason tonight, 10-6 record a season ago in the playoffs. They won that game against the Redskins in Washington, lost in overtime in Arizona. And they come in with high hopes of the 89 players in the Packer rosters. 79 began their pro careers with Green Bay, which has kind of been Rich, the hallmark of the organization, that they draft them or sign them, develop them, and they play them.
That's exactly right, Kim. This is not an easy team to make when you think about the success they've had under Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy. We mentioned that set a franchise record with their 7th consecutive playoff appearance last year. It's a good veteran football team.
Raheem Mostert will bring it out of the Browns. He was the one, Joe Thomas got him, he was the one that bobbled and fumbled, muffed that punt, which gives the Packers a 54-yard field goal try. They lead it 3-2. Come back to Lambeau after this. 54-yard field goal by Crosby, a safety by the Cleveland D after a Micah Hyde interception at the 1. And then Starks was caught in the end zone. So here's another possession for Robert Griffin III. And Griffin, a long completion to Terrell Pryor of 49 yards in the first possession for the Browns tonight. First and 10 here. Manning's the tight end. With the beat on him right there, Banjo. Gain of 3 to the 22.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned giving up the big play to Terrell Pryor. Packers come right back. Big play here by Micah Hyde. He steps in front of tight end Gary Barnes for the interception. And after giving up a safety, they come back with a big play on special teams. A fumble recovery by Chris Banjo. Gets the ball back for the Packers, which ultimately leads to a field goal.
With the 2nd and 7 handoff, Duke Johnson. Look at him run well. He was an impressive player a season ago, and he's brought down in the secondary and hit by Bryce. Picks up 11 yards on the play and a Cleveland first down as they're up to their own 33.
A missed tackle by Blake Martinez, and Mike McCarthy was talking about Martinez quite a bit, Kevin, during our production meeting today. He said he wants to see how this guy tackles. He wants to see when he hits him if the back goes down or does he break through tackles. He's had a very impressive training camp so far.
Moving that extra lineman around. Spencer Drango, he's a rookie out of Baylor, so they've got heavy set on that right side. Griffin looking for Barnett. Hand-to-hand combat. There goes Hyde. There goes a flying.
That's a good call, Kevin. He's pushing him down the field. He's got his hands full with the Pro Bowl tight end Barnage. You're going to see Micah Hyde pushing a little bit well down the field.
I'll tell you what, Rich, with the speed on NFL fields now, these safeties are playing back in coverage. They got to play the run up in the box. They got to play that kind of hybrid position. They got to be all over the
pass interference on number 33. However, the pass was uncatchable. Therefore, by rule, there is no foul. It's just an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Well, you're right, Kevin. And more offensive coordinators now. They're doing what? They're moving these tight ends around. You see Barnett, he's split. He's not in as an inline player, so it really puts some pressure on a safety like Micah Hyde to go out and cover Barnage one-on-one.
So they're taught differently. They play differently, Rich.
The big thing is you got to get your hands on a big tight end like that early and try and disrupt him and affect the timing and the rhythm in the passing game. Once he gets up on you, makes it very difficult.
Pack in the nickel. 2nd down and 10. Robert Griffin III. Blitz, pressure, Martinez. Right up the middle and in his grill. Nice pressure by Martinez, who was a high draft pick in the 4th round out of Stanford.
If you're going to compete against a Dom Capers coach defense, you better be ready for the middle dog cross, and that's where they bring both linebackers inside. You're going to see Martinez go first. He's going to be followed by Joe Thomas, and he gets to RG3 before he has a chance to make a good throw.
Right by Cameron Irvin, who is the center. The Browns are trying to replace Alex Mack at that center position. 3rd and 10. Griffin needs the 43. Sidesteps, whips it, incomplete. Aiming for Taylor Gabriel. He has been inconsistent. Pressure on Griffin. They got a punt.
You look at the Browns, they drafted 4 wide receivers, including their first overall pick, Corey Coleman. They have to get bigger at the wide receiver position. You see some good pressure on RG3, not able to sit in there and take that extra hitch. But last year, Kevin, I can remember doing a Browns game, a couple Browns games with you. The receivers were all 5'7", 5'8" guys. It's hard to survive in this league when you're 5'7" and 5'8".
Jared Everett-Harris is deep back for Green Bay. Poor hang time on the 26. Punt returns, punt coverage, a concern for the Packers. Tackle made right there by Barkevius Mingo. 2-yard return on a 40-yard punt with a look at Hugh Jackson. They have had a camp full of energy. Very physical camp in Cleveland as he tries to change the culture for the Browns.
Yeah, Kevin, they have to learn how to win. I mean, this is a team that went 3-13 last year. It seems like it's been ages since this team has had a playoff caliber run. And the biggest issue that they've had, 2 things to me that really stand out. Too much turnover with every level of their organization. General managers, coaches come and go, the quarterback position, and defensively, they haven't been able to stop the run.
First and 10. Fake to Crockett. And across the middle, he's got Justin Perillo. Another tight end reception. The catch and run to the 46. He picks up 18. Nice completion for the rookie free agent Callahan.
And a really nice action. You see the quarterback turns. Good ball fake. It was a nice job whipping his head back around to try and find his tight end Perillo in the middle of the field.
Well, Mike talked a lot. We mentioned this earlier. He talked a lot about tight ends this morning to us.
That's so important, and we're going to see a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets.
First and 10. Crockett tries to make his mark, looking as a 3rd down running back, or a 3rd running back on this team. 2-yard gain right there by Crockett.
And the Packers refer to these 2 tight end sets as a tiger personnel. When you put 2 tight ends in the game, and when you do that, defenses typically put their bigger bodies out there. And when you have some tight ends that can separate and run down the middle of the field, guys like a Jared Cook or Richard Rodgers, now all of a sudden you get the big people out there and you play action and you throw the football in 2 tight end sets.
Tackles are Spriggs and Walker. 2nd down 8. Crockett. And not a whole lot there. Picks up a yard. Gets out near the 49-yard line of Green Bay.
You see number 22 out there, Aaron Ripkowski, and just seems so weird, Kevin, calling a Packers game without John Kuhn, old number 30 out there. He had a great run for the Packers, and Ripkowski's got some big shoes to fill at the fullback position. The more you can do, and Kuhn did so much. He was a great blocker in the passing game. He was a good receiver out of the backfield. He's a good runner, short yardage and goal line runner, good on special teams.
Smart, right?
Smart player. And he made Aaron Rodgers feel very comfortable under center.
Safety for the Browns, a 54-yard field goal for the Packers. 3-2 at the end of 1 here in Green Bay. Back at beautiful Lambeau Field in Green Bay, the 2nd quarter tonight from Lambeau, sponsored by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Kevin Harlan with Rich Cannon, and Allen is on our sideline, as is Aaron Rodgers. Suited tonight, expecting to play next week against the Raiders.
Talking about the highest rated passer in the history of the National Football League by a wide margin over the likes of Steve Young, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. Pretty incredible career that he's had so far.
But he would agree it was not the kind of season he's used to.
No, it really wasn't. But, when you look at it, Kevin, I mean, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They call that an off year? Come on.
3rd and 7, beginning the 2nd quarter. Callahan. Houston brought down from behind, hit by Xavier Cooper. He gains a yard. It's 4th down.
Look at his eyes.
And the Packers will punt.
The other thing he's going to find out is the players on the other side are bigger, stronger, and faster. And they can catch you when you decide to pull the ball down and run.
Peter Mortel will punt. Green Bay native. And deep back will be Jordan Poyer for the Cleveland Browns. All Big Ten his junior year up in Minneapolis for the Golden Gophers. There's Peter Mortel. Fair caught, 16-yard line, and a punt of 33. Take a look at Peter, who was told by his grandfather when he was about, Jerry Mortel Sr., when he was about in 5th grade, he goes, hey, you got a pretty good leg, you should start the punt. Well, he's a high school quarterback, and he punted, played some defense. Notre Dame here in Green Bay.
How does a kid from Green Bay, Wisconsin, not wind up at Madison? Instead, he winds up with the Gophers at the University of Minnesota. How does that happen? Huh? How do they let a kid like that leave the state? I know they loved having him up in Minnesota.
You love Coach Kill. Loved playing for the Golden Gophers. And played, of course, in the terrific Big Ten. So they like the fact that he's played in some adverse weather. The new quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is Josh McCown. It is 1st and 10. Oster, not a lot there. Thrown for a loss of a yard. Kentrell Bryce, rookie free agent, Louisiana Tech with the stop.
And I think Hugh Jackson's got to feel really good about having a quarterback like Josh McCown on the roster. Kevin, he's been around a long time. He started for a number of different teams.
A couple times in person last year.
He played some really good football last year for the Browns, and you just don't know about RG3 whether or not he can stay healthy enough to play a 16-game regular season.
There's Johnny Manziel was quarterback in the Browns last year too. 2nd down and 11. Mostert, who played his college ball at Purdue, was out and wheeling to the 23-yard line, hit by a couple on the play, including Carl Bradford. Good to see Bradford out there because he's coming back off an injury, and they want to see how he responds to rehab.
And Dom Capers talked about how excited he was to see the young players get a chance to play for the first time, and some of the injured players, Kevin, as you mentioned, that missed a lot of playing time last year.
3rd and 5. Packers with 6 in the second half. McCown moves up niftily, needs the 28. Flag is thrown, has the first, sliding to the 31. Scrambles for 10.
He pick up that first down with his legs.
Dan France, Michigan State, young player on this team. They've had some upheaval on the line. Schwartz left as the right tackle. Alex Mack.
That's the big one. Replacing their Pro Bowl center, and what they're trying to do is their first rounder from a year ago, Cameron Irving. He's going to be the key, Kevin. They're asking him to play center. He started the game at center.
He sure did.
And Mitchell Schwartz, both Alex Mack and Mitchell Schwartz left in free agency, and so you've got to replace 2 of the 5 starters along that offensive line.
6 defensive backs. Thomas, the linebacker, is right in the middle of that group. 3rd and 15. They need the 27. McCown deep and looking for Pryor. Over his head, uncatchable and incomplete. Flag back at the 5.
Personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 55. Low hit to the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Lorente McCray, one of the free agents signed by Green Bay in the offseason.
It's the top of your screen, and he just...
It's pretty close.
Yep. You can't hit him. You can't hit him low. I don't know.
I agree.
It's tough sometimes. It's tough to be a defensive player in this league. I wish I was still playing quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
Can't hit him high, can't hit him low. I'd still be playing.
He'd still be playing is right. Dean Lowry, you just saw him, 94, the rookie out of Northwestern. It was a 1st and 10 for the veteran McCown. Mostert inside. And Carl Bradford among a couple that make the stop with another flag. Back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps on the run.
You see a nice job by that Packer defensive line, shedding blocks, getting off of blocks, staying lateral, keeping their pad level down. One of the things Mike McCarthy talked about. We want to see this defense play with low pad level up front.
Illegal hands to the face, defense, number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Christian Ringo. This defense orchestrated by Don Capers, 15th in the NFL a season ago. 6th against the pass. He had a nice Hall of Fame speech for one of the newest entrants in Canton, Kevin Green.
Former Packer coach and an all-time great linebacker, Kevin, with a number of teams, most notably the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hated playing against Kevin Green. He had a relentless motor.
1st and 10. Pack with 5 in the secondary. Pound with a quick hit after the catch was made by Terrell Watson, who was on the Cincinnati practice squad a season ago. Bradford there, gain of 5 to the 37.
Well, I really like Bradford, Kevin. He's a guy that can play in space, does a nice job reading the eyes of the quarterback and just driving on the running back and making a good open field tackle.
Got to the 4th round pick a season ago, had the injury and missed the time.
You play linebacker, middle, inside linebacker in this defense. They ask you to do a number of different things. You got to be able to rush the passer, stop the run, and drop in coverage.
Second, here's Mostert. Oh, we got a good block by the tight end on the 2nd and 5, and he's loose in the secondary. Bryce was steering him out of bounds. Mostert was waived by Baltimore. That's kind of where he was making his initial. He also played for Philadelphia in the preseason. Played here, in fact. Gain of 27 on the run. He takes it to the Green Bay 36.
And the Browns will use a number of different backs. Crowell and Duke Johnson, Mostert.
What were they talking about with Dom this morning about eliminating those big plays?
Big runs and big passes. Getting off of blocks.
1st and 10. Mostert from McCown. Right into the gut with a gain of 2. Tackle by Joe Thomas.
Both teams really trying to come out and establish an attitude when it comes to running the football. Hugh Jackson believes in running the football as much as Mike McCarthy. He'll do it with a number of different backs. And these coaches, Kevin, it's harder and harder to assimilate these type of drills in training camp. We don't have the pads on that much.
2nd down 8. That's Pryor in motion. Mostert with some pulling blockers, and he follows it well, and he takes it inside the 25. Sidesteps his way for a gain of 9. Another 1st down.
A couple missed tackles, and they ask yourself some breakdowns in terms of fits and run game assignments.
Well, that was the conversation with Dom this morning. He talked about we got to tackle better.
Yeah, and you got to make sure that everyone's on the same page. You've got some young linebackers out there making the calls, making the adjustments. He said the more the Browns do, the less we'll do schematically defensively.
So the veteran McCown, 14-year NFL quarterback, and it's dropped by Mostert with the push there by Kentrell Bryce. One of the things that they talked about throughout this camp and was reiterated this morning was they don't want to overload the young defense with too much to think about, too much reading. They'd rather have them react more and just play the game.
I think they're always talking about shifting the focus from the scheme towards the personnel. It's about the players more than the scheme, and we want players to go out and play fast and not worry about blowing an assignment.
2nd and 10. McCown going to the end zone, and he's got his guy. The pass was drifting outside, and that was Pryor. That he was aiming for.
A couple things there. McCown's got to do a better job with the throw, keeping him on the field, and Pryor can help him by not getting so wide. Watch this release and watch how close he gets to the boundary. You got to give the quarterback some room in the back of the end zone.
Josh Hawkins on him. He's a rookie free agent, former walk-on. Semifinals for the 4th award in college football a season ago. 3rd and 10 for McCown. Moves up well. Needs the 15 on the fly in the end zone. Cleveland touchdown. Connor Hamlet, who has been a pleasant surprise in camp. We all know Hugh Jackson loves tight end play. His young tight end, who is a first-year player from Oregon State, just caught one in the end zone.
And that's really just an outstanding play by the veteran quarterback Josh McCown. Kevin, he made that happen. He steps up in the pocket, he slides, he buys some time, and he finds the open receiver in the back of the end zone.
If he stayed in back of the line of scrimmage.
Illegal forward pass by the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. It's a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul and a loss of down. Brings up 4th down.
Well, he's pretty close. Let's see.
25-yard line or so.
Oh, yeah.
Crossed it.
He's about a yard over.
Yes. Feeling the pressure that time by McCray and Dayton Jones.
And McCray knew it. McCray saw the flag early.
So look at Josh McCown. He was the starter. He shared duties with Johnny Manziel last year. In fact, Manziel won number 2, didn't he?
He did.
That's Patrick Murray, who is a third-year kicker from Fordham. He's coming back from a torn ACL. He'll be trying a 46-yard field goal. Wind at his back, and it's slight. Browns are going to take the lead. 46-yarder, Patrick Murray. We've got time on the field in 9:05 to play in the first half in preseason game number 1.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Chevrolet, Mills Fleet Farm, Ticketmaster, and Verizon.
Now we're back in Lambeau, and they are all dressed up and ready for Packer football. There were a lot of people dressed up at Canton last week. A little ticked off they could not watch the game the Packers were supposed to play against the Colts. Field unplayable, but they did enjoy. And number 4 was entered into the hall.
I thought that was a great speech, Kevin.
Yeah.
It was from the heart. You talk about a terrific player. The one thing I'll say about Brett is that I don't know there's a player in the game that had more fun doing what he did than Brett Favre.
Here comes Ed Williams. He will bring it up. First-year player at Fort Hays State, which is a small school in Kansas. He gets to the 15-yard line. He returns at 12. Flags on the field. 2 of them. 3 of them thrown.
Well, you're going to see some penalties in the kicking game. You have a lot of young players playing special teams for the very first time, and
A lot of these guys aren't used to that.
They're not, and we had the opportunity. You and I
holding by the receiving team, number 55. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's McCray, and he's a veteran.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to sit down with special teams coordinator Ron Zook today. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. But a lot of young players getting their first chance to play on teams.
Rich, one of the things the Packers liked about Joe Callahan, the free agent from Wesley, who starts tonight, he was a good scrambler in college, and he felt they could help their defense prepare for some of the more mobile quarterbacks they're going to face this season.
Very good mobility, Kevin, as you point out, and just a guy that as Mike McCarthy talked about, had he been 6'3", he probably would have been drafted. I think that the height hurt him a little bit. He's a 6'1" guy, and smaller quarterbacks always have a challenge, over that big offensive line.
1st and 10. Low, but caught. And on the play by Kennard Backman. 6th-round pick out of Alabama Birmingham a year ago. He picks up 2. He's near the 10.
Just 76 yards of offense so far for the Packers. You need to get something going here in this drive.
Spriggs is the left tackle. Taylor is the left guard. Center is Barkley, proving his versatility. Doesn't play a lot of center.
Nope. More you can do.
2nd and 8 with Burks in the backfield. In the offset on. And makes the grab in front of Moore, 6-year veteran. It is a gain of 9. Justin Perillo makes the grab.
Very nice throw and catch there. Get a sense of Callahan's arm strength. Nice job using his entire body. You see his core, his left side, his ability to be able to drive off of that front foot. 6 of 10 so far for Callahan in the first half.
34 defense, 1st and 10. Aberdaris. Army slips right through the grass for Taylor. And there he went down the side, hit out of bounds by Cam Johnson. Catch and run of 11 to the 30-yard line with a first down.
This is good to see. That was actually a called run, and they have the option when they see the one-on-one coverage upside. Watch the offensive line come off. And Callahan just flips it out to his big, tall, lanky receiver, and if he can make a corner miss, a chance for some big yards on first down.
First and 10 with some play action. Here they come. There's that scrambling we were talking about, Rich. On the move and then shoved out of bounds by veteran Tank Carter. Gain of 4 near the 34.
He's got a little Doug Flutie in him.
Yeah, that's right.
He can move around and make some plays.
Who is shorter? He's 6'1". Flutie, what, 5'11"?
5'11". Play action. They've got 2 defenders right there. Does a nice job pulling the ball down, keeping his eyes downfield, and pulling it down.
He did have an interesting thing to say about Aaron Rodgers' footwork and how that is dictating the offense. I'll get to that in a second. 2nd down and 6. Nice catch. Good throw. Ty Montgomery, who came off the PUP list on Tuesday, picks up 7. He throws a laser and gets him out to the 40 for a first.
Montgomery missed the final 10 games of the season last year with an ankle injury, and these are some young receivers, Kevin, that they really like this young group, but someone has to step up and take some ownership and really emerge from this group of young receivers.
Pep Hamilton is one of the coaches now for Cleveland. He was Montgomery's coach at Stanford. It was a run by Burks. Tackle was made by Nassib out of Penn State in it too. Callahan was saying that Aaron has such a unique style with his footwork. The way that it is built into the offense based on his footwork. Every other quarterback's got to kind of mimic that in some way to keep the timing looking the same.
Yeah, and I think that Aaron does some things that are very unique because of his body type, his athleticism, his quickness. I think he's got very good feet. And it gets him out of a lot of trouble. It's his ability to extend plays when the protection breaks down.
Callahan's hit 5 in a row. 2nd and 8 gets the block. Here's that scrambling again, but was tackled there by Nassib. Here's a 3rd-round pick. It's the first sack. It's a loss of 8. He couldn't escape. He's back to his own 35.
Nassib's made a couple shoestring tackles so far here in the first half. Rookie out of Penn State. This is the one thing that really surprised me, Kevin, when I was a rookie quarterback is, when you're in college, you'd run away from tackles like that all the time. And then now at this level, defensive linemen and defensive ends are so fast, they drag you down from behind. These guys that can run a 4.6 or a 4.7 and be 290 pounds.
5 in the secondary, 3rd and 16. They need at least midfield. In fact, the 49 of Cleveland. And incomplete. Perillo is in his sights. Coverage and pressure there. And another punting situation. Mastay will take the field for Green Bay.
Well, 3rd and longs are so tough in this business.
Especially for a rookie free agent.
Yeah, you really hurt yourself when you get the sack and you get yourself in these 3rd and longs. These defensive coordinators, they spend all that time trying to find ways to get you off the field on 3rd down.
Again, Hundley not playing tonight. He's got an ankle. Aaron just sitting it out. Mastay to punt. Mostart is deep back. Good hang time. 27-yard line. He got it. Hang time I got unofficially of 5.9. 37-yard punt. That can't be right. 5.9. My batteries must be going.
That's from last. That's your stop clock from last year. Yeah. Well, it was a pretty good hang time, though.
Well,
it may not have been 5.9.
But it was 5.
Yeah, it was in the 5s.
They tell me to read this card now. I'm busy laughing at you.
Card 8 when you're ready,
Okay,
Kevin.
great. Fans, be sure to tune in to the Packers Radio Network during the regular season for the Menards Big Play Contest. You could win a $500 Menards gift card if the Packers score a touchdown from 25 yards or more on a single play during the second quarter. For details, visit any Wisconsin Menards store.
Yeah, I'm doing double duty here. I'm trying to be the analyst. I'm trying to be the stage manager. I'm handing you cards.
Yeah,
I'm telling you when to read the card.
It's good, but that
I don't know if they pay me enough to do all these things.
Nothing to your pay scale. You are a man that has mastered a lot of things in this business.
But not the stage manager gig.
That's Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Lance Allen's on the set. Can we go to Lance Allen just to make sure he's alive down there? we saw Lance do the terrific job in the pregame show. We watch him every night on Channel 4, WTMJ down in Milwaukee. There he is. Lance.
I'm waiting for Rich Gannon, though, because I think Rich was feeling a little frisky, and I think he's one of those guys that he wants to get in the game. And look at this. We've got live interviews coming right down the pike. We're on live TV, TJ, so look out. Yeah, don't say anything crazy. TJ, how good is it? How good do you feel to get back to playing football? I saw you kind of mixing it up out there around the pile a little bit tonight.
I feel good. I was nervous first couple plays. I've had a 1 week of practice since January, so I feel a little nervous, but it's good to be back out there running around. Felt like we had a pretty good drive there with the ones, got some good runs off, and shoulder came out healthy. It was the best thing I could ask for.
How sizable is that chip on the offensive shoulder to prove that last year was a fluke, or that you guys are way better than that?
Yeah, I think, throughout the spring we talked a lot about last year. And then when we reported for camp a couple weeks ago, our focus was on 2016. So, but yeah, I mean, last year was probably the first time I've been here that, the offense wasn't holding up their part of the puzzle. So, we're definitely looking forward to getting a full, healthy group back out there. Hopefully soon, getting ready to practice together and take these preseason games to get some valuable reps and build some momentum going into the season.
And how good do you guys feel as a line? Last year, that Arizona game, I don't want to keep dwelling on last season, but you guys were really, really beat up and you played like warriors. How good do you guys feel about the line coming into this year?
Oh, we feel really good. I think it's the most depth we've had in quite some time. We're still missing Corey. Hopefully he gets healthy here soon. But we feel good. We're all a little bit older now. We're all a little bit wiser. We've got more chemistry than we've ever had, and we're looking forward to getting the starting five back out there. But the guys behind us, they've all played a lot of football for us too. So not only do we feel like we've got one of the better starting fives, but we feel like we've got one of the better overall lines just with the guys behind us.
I've talked to you about this before. How good was that first pitch with the Tigers? I'm hearing like 90-mile-an-hour heat, or was it more 50 Cent like?
No, it was probably, if I had to clock it, it was probably around 50. I was a little nervous about the shoulder. I didn't want to put some heat on it. I just tried to get over the plate, which I think I did. I definitely would have got a righty swinging inside. So, but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Thomas John Lang, better known as TJ Lang. Thanks for the time. I won't call you Thomas John after this.
Thanks for having me, Lance.
All right, no problem. TJ Lang joining us right here on the Packers TV Network. Guys, back up to you.
Great, thank you. We just saw a sack by Dayton Jones, who had 3 a season ago. That sack, the first allowed by the Browns. It was a loss of 8. There was a penalty. Here's a 3rd and 23. McCown needs the 38. The running back is Winston. They'll make it Watson, who picks up 3. Terrell Watson from Azusa Pacific. Can you name another great running back from the past from Azusa Pacific?
How about Christian Okoye?
Christian Okoye. That's exactly right. Led the NFL.
You had some fun calling his games, didn't you, back in the day?
He was a moving bulldozer.
The Nigerian nightmare, right?
He was.
He put a hurting on a lot of linebackers and safeties. I know that. Old number 35.
He was one of the best in the business. Andy Lee to punt. Ooh, and he was hit afterwards. Gets it away. Albertaris will try to show some speed here as he cuts and slips and is hit and taken down. Back near the 25-yard return. Lee pounds a 67-yard punt for the Cleveland Browns. There's a look at Dayton Jones, number 1 pick out of UCLA 4 years ago. 3 sacks last season, his first of the preseason right there. 2.5 to play in the half.
Andrew Quarles, he just got
suspended.
Yeah, I saw that. Good opportunity for the Packers. The young quarterback, Joe Callahan, Kevin, 2 timeouts left, 2:34. Good opportunity to get a chance to see him operate in a 2-minute drill.
It's down and 10. Here comes Burks. Oh, nice hole on that left side. And then some blocking downfield from Geronimo Allison, who has raised some eyebrows in camp, the rookie free agent from Illinois. 17-yard gain. Burks takes it out. He's the rookie from Troy. Takes it out to the 37. First and 10. 2 timeouts. Perillo, the tight end. The catch, the spin, run out of bounds after a gain of 5 to the 42-yard line.
Got time to huddle.
Callahan seems to be settling down a little bit. You think Rich is more comfortable in the pocket?
Yeah, and I think, Mike McCarthy trying to, every time out's going to be a learning experience for the play caller. What does Callahan do well? What does he have a bit of a history with? Where is his comfort level?
2 minutes.
All right, the Wisconsin Lottery presents the 2-minute warning. Packers scratch games are on sale now with a bonus drawing for a private suite for 2 games for 25 people. Learn more at WILottery.com. 2-minute warning on the Packers television network. 9 there, Marquise Williams. They say he's going to play quarterback in the second half. The rookie free agent from North Carolina.
Another quarterback, Kevin, who played a lot of football in his college days and put up some big numbers. Just a handful of quarterbacks last year to lead his team in rushing as well as in passing in the ACC.
Spriggs and Patrick on the left side of that line. Second down and 5 for Green Bay from the 42. Callahan on the move, being chased, as you can see, and just throws it away. Pressure from Ugba, the rookie from Oklahoma State. He's a good one. Coming up in the Toyota halftime report, our Rod Burks had a chance to sit down earlier this week with the Packers' Clinton Dix. We'll also check in with your local news and have stats and highlights from tonight's first half. All coming up on the Toyota halftime report. 3rd and 5. Callahan, Rich, 9 of 15, 6 different receivers.
He's really hasn't had the opportunity to push the ball down the field. I'd like to see him take a shot down the field at some point, like right now.
Abradaris, the sliding catch at the 46, right in front of defensive back Tracy Howard. Gain of 12 on 3rd and 5 and a first down.
It's a nice job taking that extra hitch and just trusting the protection sitting in there and giving Abradaris a chance to make a play.
First and 10. This is Burks. Brandon Burks, rookie free agent from Troy, on the move and out of bounds near the Cleveland 41 with a gain of 5.
Callahan finding his rhythm a little bit. You see the plays on the wristband to help the young quarterback.
One of the receivers is in that we've been watching, Trevor Davis, 5th round pick out of Cal. He's wide atop your screen with Abradaris in the slot. 2nd and 5.
Screen.
Burks read well. They're beautifully on the play by their linebacker, Dominic Alexander from Oklahoma. It is a loss in the play of 3.
And he sniffed that one out. Callahan's done a nice job, Kevin, of distributing the ball, spreading it around. 7 different receivers have touched the ball already for the Packers here in the first half.
2 timeouts, 3rd and 7. Slings it inside. What a catch by Perillo at the 28. That was a beauty. 15-yard pickup. They had a 17-yard run by Burks, a 12-yard pass to Abradaris, and a 15-yard to the tight end, Perillo.
This will be a quick 3-step throw to slant.
Perillo again out of bounds. 24 stops the clock with a 5-yard gain with 42 seconds to play in the half.
A couple different ways to stop the clock. Plenty of time here with 42 seconds left.
Perillo had 11 catches a season ago, the 3rd-year tight end out of Maine. Nickel secondary for Cleveland, 2nd down and 5 for Green Bay. Rookie quarterback, free agent Joe Callahan. Good slant on the move. Beckman near the 5. Kennard Beckman. A catch and run of 18, first and goal, Green Bay.
And this is impressive. Watch how quick Callahan recognizes the fact that they don't cover Bachman, and he just does a great job catching the ball from the center out of the gun and getting it out of his hands as quickly as possible. Watch how quickly he gets rid of this ball. He sees that they don't cover the tight end right up the seam. Good alert play by the rookie quarterback.
Boy, the tight end, regardless if it's been Perillo or Cook or right there Beckman, I mean, we're seeing a major influx of their influence in his first half.
Well, Kevin, I talked about it early. I just think that they need more production out of the tight end position. I think you look at last year, Richard Rodgers, 58 receptions.
Perillo has caught 5. Cook 2, Beckman 2. Here we go with the first and goal from the 5. One timeout for Green Bay.
Well, you got some options here.
Crockett in the backfield.
Not there, throw it away.
I bobbled the ball and he brought it down. A little bit high for Beckman with the coverage by Moore.
He was double covered.
Yeah. But the drive has seen the run by Burks of 17. Aberderis a catch of 12. Perillo 15 and Beckman a catch of 18.
A little surprised by the decision. I mean, there's nowhere to throw it. Talked about understanding the situation. If it's not there, throw it away. On first down.
Watch for Davis, bottom of your screen. Second and goal. Gain of 3. As Crockett takes it to about the 2.
You've got time. Still have the one timeout, which you want to save for the field goal.
Sure. Third and goal at the 2. Cleveland timeout.
I think the Packers may have taken
Timeout
one
Green
away.
Bay.
Oh, Green Bay
That's
took
their
it.
third and final timeout. 30 seconds.
Well, a good look at the young quarterback, Kevin. He's gotten plenty of reps, and we talked about this great opportunity for him to get the start in the Packers preseason opener. Done a nice job spreading the ball around, getting the tight ends involved, taking care of the football. Done a nice job off of play action, sitting in there, trusting the protection. He's shown good maneuverability, his ability to escape pressure, extend plays with his legs, make defenders miss.
He was a 4-year starter at Wesley, completed 64% of his passes for almost 13,000 yards, Rich. Had 130 touchdowns, 38 picks.
Put up big numbers.
Yes. Third and goal at the 2. There was some confusion for the Browns defensively in alignment. That's why I thought they may have taken the timeout. Let's see what Callahan does here. That's a touchdown. Crockett, the running back from North Dakota State with the leap and the welcoming party.
Crockett last year, Kevin, in the preseason, was signed as an unrestricted free agent, was promoted from the practice squad late last season, had an incredible career at North Dakota State. Guy that's really shown that he can play at this level.
So here's Mason Crosby, who made every one of his point-after attempts last season, 1 of 5 to do that. Mortel with the hold, and the kick is good, and the Packers have gone up on Cleveland 10-5 with Callahan, the rookie free agent QB. The 12-play, 80-yard drive, taking 2.5 off the clock.
Really impressive drive, Kim. We talked about the opportunity in 2-minute football, 12 plays, 80 yards. Finds his back Crockett for the touchdown. Look how quickly he gets the ball out of his hands. Really nice job with the decision-making and the patience by the rookie quarterback during that drive.
How about that, too? He leapt over a little high school cheerleader there on the side. Leapt over her like Superman, into the stands. And There was the nice finish, Crockett.
Callahan, interesting story, Kevin. Played at Holy Spirit High School in Absecon, New Jersey, just a little south of Atlantic City. And so he's grew up near the beach. You know, I'm a beach guy, and
you are
South Jersey beach guy.
Yes.
So I heard a lot of these stories about Joe Callahan and success that he had as a high schooler, and of course, really went up there and rewrote the record books at Wesley.
Crosby will kick off. And on the ground, it skips and covered at the 25. 5 seconds to play in the half. And was recovered on the play by tight end Telfer, Randall Telfer.
Could you imagine how nervous Joe Callahan was before this game? We talked about, you know, how your life can change in a year as a young person. He played in front of a couple thousand people each Saturday at Wesley College. Now he comes out here to Lambeau, a sold-out Lambeau, with Aaron Rodgers coaching him up on the sidelines and getting the start for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, you know, I'm sure his heartbeat was way up there early, but he did a nice job, showed some great patience and poise in the first half.
16 of 23. 124 yards through the air. Callahan with a touchdown in his first NFL play. Good blocking too by that line. Crockett converts. Packers by 5 at halftime on the Packers Television Network. Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Report from Lambeau here in Green Bay. Kevin Harlan with Rich Gannon. We've seen a rookie free agent, Rich, come into this game and take the place of a couple quarterbacks. One, Aaron Rodgers, not suited up. Hundley, the backup, who's got a bad ankle. So the rookie free agent, Joe Callahan, comes in and looked good in a 2-minute drill late in the game.
He really handled himself well, Kim. I was anxious to see him get off to a good start and handle the pressure of making his start here at Lambeau as a rookie. I was anxious to see Eddie Lacy get some touches early. That was a positive. I thought the first team really came out and looked sharp, but a really good opportunity for the young quarterback.
Moments ago, our Lance Allen had a chance to talk with Packer head coach Mike McCarthy.
All right, guys, we're here with head coach Mike McCarthy. And Mike, did you establish what you wanted to offensively? 4 runs with Eddie Lacy, made a guy miss, looked pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's important to run the football, as we know, but this is the time of year where you have to get the reps. So we want to come out and run the football. It'll really be a focus throughout the preseason, and no different on the other side of the ball. You got to stop the run.
I think you got a little something there in Joe Callahan, too. Ran the 2-minute drill really well.
Joe did a lot of really good things. You know, we managed the run game. You know, we had some movement, QB movements that I thought I'd get a little more out of, but, you know, you really see the quarterback's medal is in the 2-minute drill, so I thought he was excellent.
Final thing, defensively, gave up that big play, but then Micah Hyde making the big pick near the end zone.
Red zone defense, you know, I mean, you got to keep him out, and, yeah, great play by Micah.
All right, Mike, thanks for the time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Lance.
All right, Mike McCarthy joining us. Back to you guys.
Lance Allen moments ago, the Packers. Rich had 2 takeaways in the first half, over 18 minutes time of possession. Callahan, and we just saw his number 16 at 23, threw it to the tight end 9 times, and there you take a look at some of the numbers through 30 minutes of football in this first preseason game.
Yeah, I think you have to be pleased, Kevin. You give up 3 points, you know, obviously on defense. You know, offensively put together a really impressive 2-minute drive with a rookie quarterback, and I think overall Mike McCarthy had to be pleased with the effort and performance in the first half.
Darius Jennings out of UVA will bring it out for the Cleveland Browns. Hit by Bryce, brought down near the 23, 30-yard return. The third quarter tonight from Lambeau Field is sponsored by the Wisconsin Dental Association. Routine dental exams cost less per month than the average cell phone bill, Rich. Well, take note of that. Visit WDA.org to find a Wisconsin Dental Association dentist near you for affordable preventive care. 1st and 10. Not a whole lot there. The new quarterback is Austin Davis. As Watson picks up 5. Takes it to the 28. Austin Davis in his 5th year out of Southern Mississippi. Prior to this was with the Rams. And with the Browns a bit last year.
Had a chance to play in a game last year with the Browns and did a really nice job on national television. Almost won that game.
Second down and 5.
It's Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yep. Moves outside. This time it's caught by Marlon Moore, the veteran in the NFL, 7 seasons out of Fresno State. Coverage on the play by Josh Hawkins with a gain of 3. He's up to the 32.
Well, I really like this Packers secondary, Kevin. They got a lot of young players. We saw the piece at halftime on Clinton Dix, Morgan Burnett. I think it's one of the best safety duos in the league. A couple young cornerbacks that really played well last year. Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins.
5 in the Packers secondary. 3rd and 2. With the catch by Watson and the tackle made by Beniquez Brown, close to a first down.
It is a first down. But a good healthy spot. Our guy Ed Hockley. Ed Hockley
wants to keep things rolling. Packers last year, the opposing quarterback rating, which is a good way to measure an overall defense, was 7th best in the NFL. 1st and 10, flag thrown, catch made. Hall, who was signed to the practice squad back in December for the Browns, pickup of 8, and he's up to the 42 with a flag.
The flag came out early.
Hockley's son is an official.
Sean.
Yes.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 31. 15 yards enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Robertson Daniel out of BYU for the Packers.
If he grabbed the receiver right at the top of his route, got the hold of that mask. Back judge saw it right away.
First and 10, big penalty down to the 43-yard line of the Packers. Austin Davis, 3rd quarterback we've seen tonight. It began with RG3. He's down to the 41-yard line and a gain of about 3.
Browns trying to spread out this Packers defense. No back attack, getting 5 receivers out in the route and letting Davis just find the open receiver. You see both of the veteran quarterbacks there, RG3 and Josh McCown.
2nd down and 7. Browns have a new coaching staff. They got the new quarterback. You just saw RG3. Analytics-driven front office. 2nd and 7. Got to work the middle and get down to the 39-yard line. What do you think about the way the Browns are approaching the draft and personnel and the makeup of their team with analytics kind of driving the way?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it yet, Kevin, because we've got to see more of their body of work as they get a chance to put some drafts together and assemble a football team. I know that Hugh Jackson's very involved in the personnel decisions. I think a lot of teams use some type of analytics and statistics to try and figure out who's a good fit for the team. But at the end of the day, it comes down to playmakers, guys that can make plays in critical situations.
Into the dime, there's the throw. It's incomplete. Looking across the middle and trying to locate his wide receiver, and that was Marlon Moore. Coverage by Green Bay. 4th down. They'll leave the offense on the field. And again, 6 back there for the Packers in the secondary.
And communication so critical. You think about all the different rotations that are rolling through there. You've got different players up front, different linebackers coming on and off the field, different players in the secondary. You got to make sure the communication is where it needs to be and that everyone is on the same page.
4th and 6. Austin. Incomplete.
Good coverage.
It was, and Daniel was there and a couple others. And on downs, Green Bay is going to get it. Packers will get it for the first time in the second half. Leading by 5 in the 3rd.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Wisconsin Lottery Menards, Wisconsin Dental Association, Toyota, Mills Fleet Farm, and Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Back in Green Bay, this is the first possession for the Packers here in the second half. Marquise Williams becomes the new quarterback, the rookie free agent from North Carolina.
Wasn't really signed until late in the process. Kevin, May 26th, so he's catching up a little bit mentally, but he played a lot of football at North Carolina, started 33 of a possible 48 games, set 20 school records.
Crockett back there, airing it out, going deep, and looking for Trevor Davis. With an incomplete pass, the 5th round pick out of Cal. Rookie, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, they're excited about the speed that Trevor Davis brings to the party. You see a little bit of push in there at the end, but he's got great straight line speed and good way to start a series. Give the rookie quarterback a chance to throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Finish number 3 in North Carolina football history with 61 touchdown passes, 2nd down and 10. Crockett, nice block, slippery move. Brought down by Scooby Wright III, gain of 6 to the sideline, and Lance Allen.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. The guy bringing the nasty into the defense. Mike, you told me just a moment ago, Mike Daniels, that you were ready to go tonight.
Absolutely. Whenever we step on the field, you have to be ready to go. Practice, games, whatever, especially in Lambeau. We can't screw around in Lambeau.
I tell you what, I asked you this earlier in training camp, but once again, championship caliber defense. What goes into building that? Because Mike's repeated that often this offseason.
Like you said, bring the nasty. Definitely is part of it. You haven't seen a defense full of a bunch of pacifists win the Super Bowl. That just doesn't happen. So you have to have some mean guys that's willing to, teeter on that line, cross it every now and then, and to just play with an edge, and everything else take care of itself.
You're a former wrestler. You got a couple other former wrestlers on that defensive line. How does that help you do your job?
It is great because you don't have to teach a guy how to be tough. Unfortunately, sometimes in the NFL, you get guys that won't come and punch, they won't come across the ball, they won't hit somebody in the mouth, and we have a wrestler, naturally, he's going to do that because he feels comfortable getting physical. So if you get a guy that's going to be physical up front, you can teach him all the other fundamentals of playing in the NFL.
You got a little bit more of a voice this year in training camp as well. You're not afraid to call guys out.
Absolutely not, and I think that's what has to be done. We have to hold each other accountable, something that we haven't really done that well in the past, but I think we're doing a much better job of it now, and we have guys that aren't afraid to speak their mind, that we have guys that aren't going to get offended when you call them out, and if I'm lacking, I want my guys to call me out too. So that's just how it has to be, because we have to know where we're coming from is a genuine place, and at the end of the day, if you're calling somebody out because you want the best for them and you want him to contribute to us being great.
Final thing is Dayton Jones now officially an outside linebacker. Mike Pinnell's out the first 4 games. How do you make sure that depth on the defensive line makes it and gets it done early on?
Like I said, just bring the nasty. We just have to keep playing tough, play fundamentally sound, and give it everything that we have every single play, and good things are going to happen.
Tell you what, Mike, you're already bringing the nasty, so I'm going to say all nice questions to you this year because I don't want to tick you off.
You don't have to worry about that.
Mike, thanks for the time.
Absolutely.
All right, Mike Daniels joining us right here live on the sideline. Kevin, Rich, back up to you guys.
Honored for his defensive play, but the Packers last year, the leading defensive line tackler, the leading sacker on the line, 5th-year player out of Iowa, 4th round pick, terrific player, 3rd and 4. Marquise Williams, incomplete, looking for Geronimo Allison. 4th down. And they will stay on the field.
You look at his numbers, Kevin, at North Carolina, set 20 school records. One of them, career rushing yards by a quarterback. He rushed for almost 2,500 yards, so he has the ability to pull it down and make some big plays because of his quickness.
Here he's got a 4th and 4.
There it is.
Mingo couldn't bring him down. And he's got the first down, and Crockett was wrestling with an oncoming linebacker and held him at bay enough for the first down to be achieved. A gain of 6 on 4th and 4 on a first down.
It's great to watch a rookie quarterback. Sometimes they don't know any better. Watch him at the end of this run. He's just going to throw his body in this pile. He's lucky to get knocked out. Watch this. All those white jerseys and orange helmets, and he just throws himself right in there for the first time. He knew exactly where those chains were.
Mingo,
2 hands on the ball. And
there he goes. 8th play of the drive.
That drives defensive coordinators crazy when you have a quarterback that can pull it down and run.
Before defense and some movement right there. We still have Walker playing the right tackle.
False start, offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Barkley the center.
And that's the biggest challenge, Kevin, I think, for this group right now is the fact that Marquise Williams is catching up. Just joined the team May 26th, and it's a lot of offense, a lot of volume to learn in a short period of time. And, you know, you're not getting a lot of reps. You got to watch Aaron Rodgers take reps, and then you got to watch Brett Hundley, and then Joe Callahan, and then at the end of the day, you got a couple that fall off the table. You know, it's not easy. So he's curious to see how he handles himself out there, just in terms of the mechanics of running this offense.
Davis in motion, 1st and 15. Crockett there's the cut, and very little there. So Taylor is on that line for Green Bay, and they've also got Spriggs playing the left tackle. Barkley continues at the center.
I think Spriggs is going to be a great player, Kevin, once he figures things out. He's a starter since his freshman year for the Hoosiers. He's a big tackle, 6'7", 309. He's got the long arms that you love. Really good in the running game. I think he'll improve as a pass protector. Really handled himself well in the Senior Bowl. I think he can be a swing guy. I think he can play on either side of the offensive line.
2nd down, 15. Dumps it. Taylor with the block. Crockett with the run. Works his way down to the Cleveland 36, catch and run of 8. The Spriggs got some nice plaudits from Phil Steele, one of the first-team All-America.
Very good screen team. They've got offensive linemen that can get out in front and cut. Backs that are very patient. Let the play develop. And can make defenders miss in the open field.
Spriggs a 2nd-round pick. 3rd and 7.
This is where you earn your money as a quarterback on 3rd down.
There he is. And incomplete. He was looking on the near side for Herb Waters, rookie free agent from Miami.
You go back and look at that throw, and his feet. Look at that. His feet weren't set. You just got to get your feet set and have that balance. Can't be falling away from throws.
Perhaps the one thing every quarterback has got, if they want to be successful, they've got to have a good foot.
When you miss throws, Kevin, it's usually because of your feet. Your feet aren't aligned and underneath you.
Let's see how the foot of Crosby is here from 54. His 2nd from that distance tonight. 2 54-yard field goals by Mason Crosby. Packers push their lead 13-5 over the Cleveland Browns. The all-time leading Green Bay scorer, Mason Crosby, has kicked 2 54-yard field goals tonight, 1 to each end, and he's given the Packers the lead of 13-5.
Good look at Ron Zook, the special teams coordinator. I was kidding him this morning. I said you get the hardest job during the preseason, just making sure you get 11 out in the field with so many players coming and going.
Darius Jennings will be 8 yards deep and leave it in the end zone. Mike McCarthy in his 11th year for the Green Bay Packers, whether it's a playoff game, a regular season game, or the preseason, likes when his team scores. We had a little rain at Green Bay's Lambeau Field about 20 minutes ago. It stopped right now. Rich, there's a new rule in the NFL when you kick it in the end zone and it's not returned.
Yeah, Kevin, I think we're going to see place kickers really do a terrific job of angling the ball and really trying to pin teams back in there by trying to drop it, inside the 10. And especially dome teams where you're not worried about the wind. And could see that from the Packers. They may be saving it for the regular season, but an extra 5 yards certainly makes a difference for offenses.
Used to be at the 20, now the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Davis. Big hit right there. Incomplete. Bradford. Big hit. Boy, he's been on some plays tonight for the Packer D.
Yeah, he looks good, Kevin. When he hits you, you feel it. And this is just great anticipation by the linebacker. Knocks the ball right out of the hands of the receiver. Boom.
Rennell Hall. The coaches like him for the Browns. Packers glad he's back after the injury a year ago. Bradford. 2nd down and 10. His receiver, that's Hall. We were just talking about him. Brought down by Warren Gatewood from Elkhorn State. It's a pickup of 19 to the Cleveland 44.
He's got a cramp. See his calf tightening up.
Offense for the Browns this season, of course, different coaching staff. Mike Pettin was the head coach for Cleveland. 25th overall offensively, 30th in points scored. Ball is down, and we will step aside. Well, they just helped Rennell Hall to his feet, as you can see. He's out of Central Florida. After this earlier, he was signed to the practice squad back in December. The quarterback is Austin Davis, and it's a 1st and 10. With a 19-yard pass to Hall. Davis deep, incomplete. Looking for receiver Rashad Higgins. He has been impressive. The rookie out of Colorado State, Rashad Higgins. 2nd down and 10.
Very nice coverage there by Dimitri Goodson and
Whitehead.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room in this roster, is there, Rich? I mean, you're going to have a couple openings, but really these preseason games, you take care of the back half of your roster, 53 guys.
Yeah, those bottom 15, 18 players, Kevin. You really have to make an impression. Sometimes it comes in the kicking game. Sometimes it comes making a terrific play on defense.
That was a 2nd and 10 pass. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Browns.
I thought it was interesting when we were sitting down with Ron Zook, the special teams coordinator today, and he said, I try to be honest with a lot of these young players. I said, look, you're not going to play in front of Julius Peppers or Clay Matthews, okay? So if you're going to make this football team and make an impact on the team, it's going to be in the kicking game. It's going to be on special teams. That's how he really gets young players to buy in. Every play in the kicking game is so important because it's either field position or points.
6 defensive backs, 3rd and 10. They need the Green Bay 46. Davis on the move, gets the block. And the collision coming through with a big hit. Warren Gatewood. 6-yard gain on a 3rd and 10, 4th and 4. He felt the collision here.
When he first pulled it down, it looked like he had some space. But those yellow helmets dropped coverage very quickly and rallied to the quarterback. Well, that's a big hit. Big hit there by Gatewood.
And Goodson. Albert Harris is deep back inside the 10 for Green Bay. And the punt from Andy Lee. He had a punt over 65 yards the last time he was back there to boot it. Multiple Pro Bowler, traded from San Francisco last year to Cleveland. Good placement and the English, which I think they saved it. Let's see. At the 1, nice play. Saved by Ricardo Lewis. 49-yard punt. Packers will be at their 1. They had some good hits tonight, like right there. Late 3rd at Lambeau on the Packers television network. Packers are at the 1. Andy Lee put a pretty good punt deep in Green Bay territory, and last time the Packers were here, you may recall back in the first half, they had to take a safety because James Starks was tackled in the end zone.
Yeah, they had penetration in the running game, and Starks had no chance. Gave up the safety.
Spriggs remains a left tackle.
It's always a good place, Kevin, for a hard count. You've got nothing to lose. Oh.
Trying to get some breathing space, and there's none there.
And that'll drive Alex Van Pelt, the quarterback coach, and Mike McCarthy, absolutely crazy. Boy, you hate to see a fumbled snap between the quarterback and the center.
Don Barclay is the center. They've got injuries and we're low on centers to come into the game. Treader, who's ill, has been, well, he'd started the game, but now they've gone with Barclay most of the game.
Yeah, and if you're the quarterback, Kevin, you got to take the snap the same way Aaron Rodgers takes the snap. You can't move your hands, can't have them in a different place. You got to do exactly what the starter does.
Burke, 2nd and 10. The tackle made low, hit by Eric Patterson out of Ball State. No gain, 3rd and 10. They stay at the 1.
Not a lot of room there.
What do you tell the guys in the huddle, Richard? What would you say to your
Well, I said,
team?
look, we got to get some breathing room here. We got to get first down. Just get out of this jam. Young quarterback. I said on the first down, Kevin, it's a great time to use a hard count, to mix in a hard count, to try and draw the defense off sides, pick up a free 5 yards.
Patrick is the right guard.
This isn't a bad spot for it either. If you're Mike McCarthy, you remind the young quarterback.
Walker, the right tackle, 3rd and 10. Marquise Williams. Boy, he was engulfed with defenders.
He had no chance.
But they had Markevius Mingo in there, former first-round pick out of LSU. He's playing with the group right now, and here's the punt coming up, and they're not going to have a lot of space back there to punt for Tim Mastek.
Seemed like he was late getting away from center, Kevin. I'm not sure if he got the snap cleanly, but his drop was inhibited a little bit. It took him a while to get away from the center.
Mostart will be back to retrieve the punt for the Cleveland Browns. From the Green Bay 44, hang it for 3. Mostart. It's by Bradford. I should have crossed the way to, there's a late hit perhaps by Goodson.
Well, he was a good 3-4 yards out of bounds.
It looked like it, didn't it? Goodson, the former basketball player in college, who finished his years at Baylor. College football.
At the end of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal, Cleveland's ball, 1st down.
He was already out of bounds when he was hit. Well, look where they start, Rich. 1st and goal at the 10.
Well, for the Packers, all you can do, Kevin, is bear up here and try and hold them to a field goal.
This goes back to the Andy Lee punt, which put the Packers at the 1 to begin with in the previous series. Cody Kessler is the new quarterback, the rookie out of USC. And he's just thrown a touchdown pass to Rashard Higgins. Rookie to rookie. How about that? His first pass in the NFL.
It's a good sign.
It's a good start. Cody Kessler, right on the screws, the 3rd-round pick out of USC, and they beat Goodson.
They got a lot of quarterbacks on that roster, Kevin. There was talk about quite possibly the Dallas Cowboys having some interest in Josh McCown because of their situation with their backup behind Tony Romo, an aging Tony Romo. Good chance the Browns maybe do something. They've got 4 quarterbacks. Josh McCown, Robert Griffin III, Austin Davis, who's played some in this league, and the rookie Cody Kessler.
Kessler's thrown a 10-yard touchdown pass. They're going to try for 2 right here. They got Marlon Moore in motion. Kessler looking for more. Coverage by Randall Jett.
I think that play is so much better with the quarterback under center. It just takes too long. It's a quick throw. It's a quick design route to get the ball into the flat, and it just takes a while when the quarterback is in the gun. Really nice anticipation, a back shoulder throw, something that the Packers have done for years. This is by design, a very difficult route to cover if you're Dimitri Goodson. Great anticipation, good accuracy by the rookie Kessler.
And Hugh Jackson is the offensive force with this team. He was talked about before, offensive coordinator around the league, most recently with Cincinnati. He's worked well with quarterbacks. We've seen that, in particular Andy Dalton of late. Now he's got a young kid like Kessler, and he's got the veteran in Robert Griffin III.
And I think he's put together a really good coaching staff as well, Kevin. You know, he brought over Hugh Jackson, brought over Pep Hamilton, who's been a coordinator in this league. Coached Andrew Luck at Stanford, as well as in Indianapolis. And, of course, Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator, has been around the league a long time, worked for a number of different teams in that role as coordinator, and I think will do an outstanding job for the Browns.
Coons will kick off for Cleveland. Bringing it out, looking for some daylight here is Herb Waters, who started as a receiver at the University of Miami. 25-yard return to the sideline, and Lance Allen.
Kevin, thank you very much. You know, normally this guy bats cleanup. This year he's batting leadoff, so we appreciate Aaron Rodgers joining us for the first game right off the bat. Aaron, how about that Joe Callahan kid tonight?
He had a great 2-minute drive. You know, Joe's a gamer. Incredible year last year at D3 with being the D3 Heisman. Really happy for him. You know, he's done a good job for us this summer and then in training camp. But he's a gamer. You know, I think the extra week helped both him and Marquise. But it's good to see him out there, and guys made plays for him.
We were talking before off camera. You and I are both kind of like, we got to be doing something. I noticed you had the earpiece in. Were you listening in on things? Do you help call plays? Does Mike, you know, have you do anything like that? How is it for you in this situation?
I'm not calling any plays. I'm just listening in. I like to know what's going on out there, and you know, everybody kind of stands by me, Jordy and Randall on the line down there, wondering what play it is. So I got to pass it along to them. But no, I like to stay engaged with those, you know, what's going on, and help them out when they come off on the side.
You had a great year last year, but I know what your standards are. How motivated are you for this year?
I think I get more motivated every single year. You know, the mortality of your career kind of comes a little closer when you're getting older in this league. So I think the window's still wide open for us and for me, and I can play for a long time. But I think the urgency with our team has picked up. Personally and collectively, it's been a while since we, you know, had a chance to play for a Super Bowl, and that's obviously the goal every year. We've put together some good seasons the last couple of years, but it's all about getting to the championship and winning when you play in Titletown, and we realize that. We've got a great influx of young talent, and I think we added some of the right pieces. You know, it'd be nice to see what Jared can do when I get out there with him. Obviously, Jordy coming back is a big key for us, but we've got a deep group behind him that's got to step up and play well.
I want to follow that up with Jordy. You have a great rapport with him, so I don't think people are really concerned about that. But how much pressure is there on either one of you guys to just say, okay, he's back and the offense is better?
Well, I mean, there'll probably be some outside expectations and people trying to put pressure on us, but that's how we think. You know, we feel like when we're on the field together, we're going to make plays. We've done it. I mean, the history proves that when he's healthy and I'm healthy, we've had some pretty good years together. So we've got to get this thing going.
We're close to the sidelines here. You might be calling play-by-play here in a minute.
Yeah, watch out for some ACLs there with the sideline. But that's the great thing about preseason. You know, we got a bunch of young guys out there competing and playing hard, and it's fun to watch.
You got a guy photobombing you right now. You usually photobomb guys. You got Dayton Jones here getting you a little of your camera time here.
Everybody wants to be on camera. You know what I mean? They want to get into shots. They want to get on TV. So
you look absolutely really, really good. You know, you talked a lot about your diet in the offseason. What really has worked for you this year to be in the best shape of your career?
Well, it's just attention to the stuff I'm putting in my body and how it reacts with my system. You know, being lactose intolerant, I've had to cut back a little bit on the dairy, but which is tough because I love ice cream. But it's really more about the carb control. You know, just trying to limit the carbs so I'm burning the right kind of fuel when I wake up in the morning. And you get older, it's tougher. You know, it's tougher to keep the weight off. So, you know, my weight the last couple of years has been around 225, and this year I'd like to be around 220 for most of the year. I feel like I'm going to be, you know, as athletic and still take some of the pressure off my joints as well.
How good can this offense be? Offensive line last year, we saw in the Arizona game, there were warriors out there on that offensive line that went out there and played hurt. A lot of guys were hurt. How good can you be and bounce back from last year?
Well, we're going to be a good team. I mean, it starts from making the playoffs and winning our division, and we've made the playoffs the last 7 years, so it kind of starts with there as the early expectations, and then once you get into playoffs, you know, anything can happen. I love our offensive line depth this year. We got a number of guys who are deserving to make this squad, and if they don't, we'll make other squads. Receiver is very deep. we need some other areas to step up as the team comes together. The chemistry is formed at this point in the season now. So it's interesting to see everybody come together when I get out there and we start playing a little bit more as a first unit. But we start on the road at an opponent who's up and coming and has high expectations about them, their quarterback and their offense, and kind of retooling the defense a little bit. So it'll be a good test in Jacksonville first, and then we'll go from there.
Final thing, I know your time is a little busier during the regular season, but you were so good in this segment. You want to just do this every single week and, kind of give us your thoughts during the game?
No.
You're a little busy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to play next week.
All right, Aaron, thanks for the time. Good luck this season.
All right, thank you.
All right, Aaron Rodgers joining us live right here on the Packers TV Network.
That's a nice catch by Trevor Davis, who had caught one for 16 earlier on the drive. Caught one right there for 6. That's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Lance, thank you. And Aaron Rodgers, thank you for your time. We'll go to the fourth with the Packers on top of the Cleveland Browns by 2 on the Green Bay Packers television network. We're starting the fourth quarter. Green Bay leading by 2. They got the ball. There is no doubt. We just saw that terrific interview with Lance and Aaron. But when these two are together, Rodgers and Nelson, it has been an obviously very effective combination.
Yeah, dynamic duo, Kevin. I think without Jordy Nelson last year, one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets, he didn't always have the confidence and the trust with some of those younger receivers last season. That makes it really difficult for a quarterback. But you listen to Aaron Rodgers, highly competitive, extremely motivated to get back to a Super Bowl.
Marquise Williams gets it off to the tight end, Kennard Backman. Marquise out of North Carolina. There's a look at Jordy, who is, Mike told us this morning, we think next week he will come back. That's a gain of 8 as Backman takes us down to the 44 of Cleveland.
He's a serious home run threat. As good as any wide receiver in the game at getting downfield and creating separations. Great hands, terrific route runner, and the size-speed ratio you love at the wide receiver position.
Randall Cobb was right in front of him. You saw him. He's got a calf injury, so they're being protective of that. And there's Aaron off on the side. He was like he was talking to Brian Balak. 2nd down and 2. With the run right here by Brandon Ross, who played his college football at Maryland, a rookie free agent. Picks up a yard. It's interesting, isn't it? We've got Aaron Rodgers, who is as big a name in the NFL as anybody, the biggest name sports-wise in the state. And this is the dairy state, and he's lactose intolerant.
I know. Maybe he should have said that.
No, he's
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, no, I know. But he said it earlier, and
I know
he felt bad about. He felt bad about. But he is.
Look, he's a highly trained athlete, and these players today, Kevin, are really conscientious about what they put into their systems, and they're getting tested. They get blood work done to find out what they absorb well, what their stomach doesn't handle well.
3rd and 1. Nice catch. Good throw. Geronimo Allison out of Illinois. Makes the grab. Goes to the 33 and gains 10 yards.
And look at just to pay off that comment you made about Rodgers and Cobb. And I think a healthy Jordy Nelson is going to help everybody. It's going to help Randall Cobb's production. It's going to help Eddie Lacy's production. You miss a guy like that, it just has a trickle-down effect on the entire offense.
1st and 10, scooped up there by Trevor Davis. Gain, a full flag is thrown on the play, which is back at about the 37-yard line. As they
tripping by the offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty. Repeat
I had a
first down.
chance to see Aaron at the ESPYs out in Los Angeles.
I saw him the night before. Peyton Manning's retirement party.
Braggart. Anyway, so Rodgers is in back of my wife's daughter, and we're there for Craig Sager's thing.
Absolutely.
And without question, the largest applause, the most admiration was showered not on Justin Timberlake, not on Charles Barkley, not on anybody else. It was all showered on Aaron.
They love him.
Who was there with Olivia, and it was a terrific, terrific scene. 1st and 20.
Wow.
Look at him. Dazzle with one move after another to the 25-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Nice move, Marquise Williams. Weaving run of 17.
Well, we were talking, Kevin. He was quietly making some big throws, and We've known this about him. You go back and you study the tape of him at North Carolina. He is a fantastic runner. You rush for over 2,500 yards in college. In the ACC, you're doing something special.
2nd down and 2. McCleveland 25.
Just can't coach that into a quarterback.
No. Here by Ross, and he finds a hole over the right side with the 1st down to the 18. You saw Rodgers moments ago and his excitement. Just the 4th quarter of the first preseason game. Is there anyone, Rich, more invested in a team than the starting quarterback?
There isn't, and no one puts in the time that an Aaron Rodgers does. And the great thing about Aaron Rodgers, Kevin, he's a very unselfish player. If you think for one of the best players in the league, you always see him out there. He's happy to help a young player. He's cheering for Joe Callahan. He's willing to work with a young Brett Hundley. And I think that's the other thing that makes him such a great player. He's totally invested in this team.
1st and 10, Ross. And from personal experience, and you know this too, he's about as nice a guy off the field as he is good on the field. He's incredibly polite.
And he's humble.
And very humble.
And the humility
which is shot. I mean,
you know what's great about Aaron, and I think I tell this to a lot of young quarterbacks I work with. The one thing you have to do as a quarterback, you have to deflect as much of the attention away from yourself when things are going well. But when they're not, you have to be able to absorb the criticism. He does as fine a job of that as any quarterback in football.
That's a great point. 2nd down and 9. Ross trying to go outside. And Dominic Alexander out of Oklahoma, rookie free agent, throws him for a loss of 2 back to the 18-yard line.
You talk about the physical characteristics of a guy like Aaron Rodgers. We know about his arm talent. What really amazes me is what he's able to do with his feet and his legs. I think that's what makes him so special. His quickness, his suddenness, his ability to reset and throw off balance, his ability to extend plays, throw on the run as well to his left as to his right. I mean, that's what makes him such a dynamic player at the quarterback position.
3rd and 11, Marquise Williams.
Oops.
And picked off. Grabbed by Eric Patterson. And stops that drive. Patterson is out of Ball State.
Just a quarterback and a receiver not being on the same page.
Marquise Williams just threw an interception at the 1-yard line after a good-looking drive and a lot of plays on his own accord and throwing around the field. Now Aaron Rodgers will go over there and work with him a little bit.
Yeah, looking at those Microsoft surfaces, and what a great vehicle to be able to pull a play back up, look at the coverage, look at the technique, and help and work with the young quarterback.
Good job by Doug Brown and our producer, Peter Rudman. As for guys, 1st and 10, Kessler.
Oh, he's out of the end zone.
He is out of the end zone.
Wow.
That may work at USC, but it does not work at Lambeau Field. So that's an automatic safety.
That's one that
you have 2 safeties both ways. How about that?
Yeah, if you're a quarterback, Kevin, you don't want to put that on film. That'll be on SportsCenter tonight. You just not knowing where you're at on the field. I mean, you got to throw this thing away. I mean, he's clearly out of the back of the end zone. That's just a.
Didn't Dan Orlovsky do the same thing for Detroit?
I think
the Lions quarterback.
Yeah. And then he never lived it down. They had right. Now he's in Arizona.
He's selling pickles in Arizona someplace, right? I don't know what he's doing. Well, that was a tough one.
You got to know where you're at on the field.
Look, it's like what his 4th snap as a pro.
Look, he played a lot of football at a major college program at SC. I mean, look at Hugh Jackson. He's shaking his head. You just can't do that. Got to know where you're at on the field.
Well, he goes, hey, at the Coliseum, there was a big gold line there. I could see where I was. Look, he knows it. He knows it. He's in it.
There's Pep Hamilton on the left.
Yep, that was his
the offensive coordinator, and Hugh Jackson on the right.
Pep Hamilton was at Indianapolis.
Yep.
And before that at Stanford.
Good look at the upcoming preseason schedule. We'll be back here on Thursday for the Raiders. They've got an outstanding young quarterback in Derek Carr.
Boy, there's a lot of people talking highly about
the Oakland Raiders. Yep, and then of course San Francisco. They've got Blaine Gabbert, and Colin Kaepernick. They're going to figure out who their starting quarterback is, and of course we'll finish in Kansas City.
So when Green Bay did this, and they punted. It was a fumble. Here's Andy Lee, and he sends this to Everett Harris at about the 15. He finds a bit of a seam. Flags thrown onto the 35-yard line. Punt by Lee, 23-yard return.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 93. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Green Bay's ball, first down.
Reggie Gilbert.
Both teams have turned the ball over in the red zone tonight. Ultimately came away with safeties. Rich, since the middle stages of the first quarter, the offensive line has stayed basically the same. Same group we've talked about. Tackles, Walker and Spriggs.
You know, I think when they look at the film tomorrow, I think they're going to be pleased with some of the runs. They've had some really productive runs on the early downs, Kevin, despite the changes that they've had up front to that offensive line.
Marquise Williams, 1st and 10, handoff. Brandon Ross. He picks up 3 on the sideline there. Lance Allen.
Here with one of the quarterbacks of the defense, Morgan Burnett. And Morgan, how much do you relish that role, being a leader?
I think that just comes with the job description of a safety. I mean, you have to be the guys to keep everything under control on the back end, keep everyone calm and have that confidence so that the other guys have that confidence and know what's going on.
This offseason, Mike McCarthy's talked a lot about building a championship caliber defense. How much work goes into that, and what goes into that?
It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it starts on the practice field. And what we do in the weight room and just in the film room, just things outside of the game field. And then when you come on the game field, you just put everything on display with great preparation and great confidence.
Speaking of practice, I noticed you playing closer to the line of scrimmage. How much do you relish that? Hitting guys, getting in the box.
I enjoy playing football, and I'm here to do whatever they ask of me. And I'm just here to help my teammates out any way that I can.
And that's kind of the way the NFL is going. They like the bigger safeties getting up in there, and you don't mind that, do you, at all?
No, I don't mind at all. I mean, that's why I signed up and played the sport. So whatever they ask for me, I'm willing to do it, and I'm going to give it my all every time I step out there.
And how loaded is this secondary? It just seems like every time you look around, there's a guy that can make a play.
Oh, man, we're very deep in the secondary. We have a lot of talent out there. I mean, the competition level is very high, and it makes it fun to come to work every day with these guys because you know that every time you step on the field, you're going to get better each and every day working with these men.
All right, Morgan, thanks for the time, and good luck this season.
All right, thank you.
All right, Morgan Burnett joining us live right here on the Packers TV Network. Kevin, Rich, back up to you guys.
Terrific run defender. Great punt by Peter Mortell. Takes a great bounce. Mostert on the run, and great coverage on the play by Green Bay and Bryce. 63-yard punt by Peter Mortell, the Green Bay native. Packers by 4. We'll step aside. 7th annual Upper Midwest Shrine Game. Packers donating a percentage of the gate to the Shriners Hospital's children. Interesting story how this all started. Back in his first season as a Packer head coach back in 1959, Vince Lombardi made an agreement with George Halas to play in the Shrine Game annually. Packers have stuck with it since.
What a great tradition.
Yeah, back in 1959. 1st and 10. Kessler remains the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And a minimal gain. In fact, a loss. About a half yard on the play. There just was not much right there.
Enjoyed that interview with Morgan Burnett. Kevin, we talking earlier about Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix. You look at those two players, I think one of the best safety duos in the league. Both play well down around the line of scrimmage. They show up and run support. They're good communicators. They have really good ball skills, cover a lot of the field. Good look at Vince Lombardi. This is a special place when you come to Lambeau.
Terrell Watson carried last time. Terrell Watson remains running back here. 2nd down 11, offers a block for Cody Kessler. Flag is down, throw is away, and it is caught on the far side of the field. It was hauled in by Ricardo Lewis. flag back at the
Illegal
9.
hands to the face by the offense, left tackle. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
I'd like to remind you all rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the NFL is prohibited. Second and 19. Back at the 9. Roster's got to be down to 75 players by August 30th. By September 3rd, down to 53. Packers open up in Jacksonville. Second and 19. Oh, what a hit! Kyler Fackrell. First team All-Mountain West. Third-round pick out of Utah State. Fackrell with a great play.
9 sacks his last 2 seasons in college. He's got that long 80-inch wingspan. He can rush from the outside. A third-round pick, Kevin. And Mike McCarthy said this is a deeper group that we have had at the outside linebacker position since he's been in Green Bay.
Fackrell was the #1 fumble recovery man in all of college football. He was always around the ball, usually knocking it loose himself. Knocked the heck out of Kessler, who's now got a 3rd and 25.
Better not step out of the back of the end zone.
They better watch out.
We're talking about those painted lines, Kevin.
They're checking him on the sideline. He lost the helmet, and that is why he will go through the
concussion protocol.
3rd and 25. With a quick handoff here to Watson. But this Fackrell, they've got a lot of high hope for, along with Blake Martinez.
Yeah, 2 good young linebackers. We just saw Fackrell there, and then Blake Martinez among the top tacklers in FBS last year with 141 stops. 4 of the 5 picks, first 5 picks were defensive players, including those 2 young linebackers.
Continue with Fackrell on the sideline. Here's the punt by Lee. Not much here. Yep. Albert Ennis will let it bounce, and moving into Green Bay territory and ending up at the 42. 50-yard punt. He's passed. He'll probably be back out there. Fackrell with a nice sack, 3rd of the night by the Green Bay D in their opener against Cleveland. So we've had safeties both ways. We've had red zone turnovers tonight by each. We've had a touchdown pass to Crockett out of the backfield by starting quarterback Joe Callahan. We had a nice interview with Aaron Rodgers, who was in cities tonight. Will play, we are told, next week against the Raiders. And we've got Marquise Williams with another series. From the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Flag, throw, Burks, 49. Hit on the play by Don Jones out of Arkansas State. Gain of 7. Flags back at the 35.
That's going to be a holding penalty on the Packers. Well, you hate to have it on 1st and 10.
Holding, offense, right tackle. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
They're just drive killers. You got a holding penalty on 1st and 10, and you got a 1st and 20. You're up by 4. Score a touchdown here. You can kind of put this one away. Packers already, Kevin, 131 rushing yards tonight against the Cleveland Browns. Browns, as we mentioned earlier in the first quarter, just a team that really struggled a year ago at stopping the run.
1st and 20 with the penalty. Burks.
Well, he's had some nice.
Boy, that was a good block by the wide receiver Herb Waters, rookie free agent. Held the cornerback at bay, an 11-yard gain. He's up to the 43. Watch 16 blocking.
Yeah, watch him head downhill and then bounce this thing to the edge. You mentioned the perimeter blocking. If you're a receiver in Green Bay, this goes back to the days with Sharp and all the rest of those guys. They block. They block on the perimeter. You can't play here in Green Bay. They show up in the running game.
Waters was a starter. 11 of 13 games as a senior, career high of 41 receptions last year for the Hurricane of Miami. Second down and 9.
Same run the other way.
It is. Brandon Burks. He has a leg injury coming in, but he's playing tonight. You see that 34, you think of Tredell Middleton a little bit, don't you?
Yep.
Just the way he kind of runs hard with some abandon.
How about that? You had a 1st and 20, and you run the perimeter run to the left and pick up 10, and then you come back the other way and pick up 9. Now you get yourself in a 3rd and 1. Really doing a nice job up front, Kevin, getting off the ball. Those linemen getting up on the 2nd level.
3rd and 1. Time he's stymied, brought down by Schobert, the rookie out of Wisconsin. Loss of 2 on the play. He was a 4th-round pick. He's from Waukesha. Joe Schobert with a nice defensive play for the Browns.
Well, he came firing right through there. Penetration. He walked the tight end right into the backfield.
Another Badger on that Cleveland team, Joe Thomas, 9-time All-Pro. He's played in the league 9 years. This is his 10th. Only 7 players in the history of pro football have been elected to their Pro Bowl for the first 9 years of the career. He's the 8th. The previous 7 all in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Run it.
4th and 3.
There you go.
And that is caught and good for the first down and grabbed by Casey Pierce. Tight end makes it work. 4th and 3. Picks up just enough for the first down to the 45.
Really nice play action. And watch Marquise Williams. He's just going to flip it. He's in between what to do. Should I run? Look, just flip it. Just flip it out to your tight end and let him get it. Just a little shovel.
Ryan McCarthy told us this morning that the tight end influence for him is, of course, he played college tight end at Baker University. Mike did, 1st and 10. Run here by Brandon Ross. Rookie free agent, goes back a yard. But Mike said that Marty Schottenheimer, when you were down in Kansas City with Mike, he said Marty always emphasized tight end play. It always worked for him.
Well, he said 2 things.
Timeout,
You have to have a
Cleveland.
quarterback and a left
That's their
tackle.
first.
And then when you have those 2 things, if you go find me a tight end, like a Tony Gonzalez or something, we can win some football games. And, you know, it's been a while, Kevin, since they've had a dominant tight end here in Green Bay. I mean, Jermichael Finley showed some flashes, really lacked the consistency, had some injuries. And they're really hoping that Richard Rodgers can build on last year's performance, but Jared Cook, I think Jared Cook could come in here and really be a difference maker for the Green Bay Packers.
And they like Rodgers, and Perillo has had a good game tonight.
Yeah, they've got some good young players,
Yes.
you know, and Mike's always liked to keep multiple tight ends. I mean, we've had years where they've kept 6 tight ends on the roster.
Well, plus they
Can't have
can play
enough
special
of them.
teams.
Absolutely. You want those body types, right? Those big guys, those 6'4", 6'5", 240-pound guys that can run and that can play special teams, that can be 4-down players. You know, you can't have enough of those body types on your roster. You talk to Ted Thompson, you talk to Mike McCarthy. Those are the type of players that they're looking for. Aaron Rodgers would love nothing more than to have 2 or 3 guys that he could really trust and count on at the tight end position.
Rich, you've always been someone who has expected and usually needed coaches to keep things fresh. Now, they've had the same scouting staff, same basic offensive philosophy, same basic coaching
For 25 years.
for all these years, but certainly since Mike came here in
Right.
06. What are ways that coaches can keep the message fresh to a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be 33 in December, who has seen it all, accomplished it all? How do you keep him engaged?
Well, you bring up some great points, Kevin. I think that you're constantly, first of all, you got a new quarterback coach in Alex Van Pelt. I think you're constantly trying to stimulate him and challenge him, find ways for him to get better, and hand him more of the responsibility and ownership of this offense. Let him call more plays at the line of scrimmage, add some different things, and really build on the success that he has had since he's been here in Green Bay.
Second down 11, and the run right up the gut by Brandon Ross. Gain of 7.
Kevin, these 2 teams are polar opposites. We talked about the issues the Browns have had with different coaches and quarterbacks. Continuity has been the key to the success here in Green Bay. Essentially, the same offensive philosophy as you mentioned and system, and only 2 quarterbacks for the last 25 years. What organization can say we've had 2 quarterbacks in 25 years? Ted Thompson's in his 12th season. Mike McCarthy is beginning his 11th season. And that's what makes this group so special. They build and they draft young players, and they develop them, and they put them out there. And, you know, they've been blessed. Look at, you know, Brett Favre. I mean, just a special, special player. How many organizations? I can think of one other organization, the 49ers. They go from Joe Montana to Steve Young. The Packers go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. That just doesn't happen.
3rd and 4. Williams being chased. And they catch up to him. Ogba, the rookie from Oklahoma State, and they like him. 2nd round pick. Showed his speed right there on that offensive line. Cleveland is out of timeouts. They have used their 3rd and final.
Going to punt the ball here, pin him back, and go play defense and try and win this game. Mike talked a little bit about that one of the things that they didn't do a good enough job last year was directional punting. Ball placement in the punting game wasn't good enough a year ago. This is where you really want to be sharp and precise. You got a team punting. They're part of the field. You got a chance to really pin them back with a good punt in this situation.
And the rookie free agent in the spotlight here, Peter Mortell.
Really nice.
How can he place it? Excellent. If it has that kind of bounce inside the 5. Let's see where they mark it. At the 4.
Wow.
What a punt.
Nicely done.
That'll bring a smile to your face. Happen to know him, and he's a great young kid.
Did that Australian
great
rules.
family.
He put the ball down.
Yes, he
like,
did.
You know,
Great family, and he was one of those kids that when he was at the University of Minnesota, he's very community conscious, and he has gone above and beyond in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area in various projects that he spearheaded and was not prompted to do, just it was on his own accord. He's a terrific young man. No timeouts. Kessler, the rookie, 1st and 10. And they go outside here with a gain of 5 to E.J. Bibbs of Iowa State. He's up to the 9. There's Bibbs. 2nd and 5.
when you think about that safety by the quarterback, Kessler, Kevin, this would have been a 3-point game.
When the clock starts on the
2-point game. Field goal would have won it. Now they've got to go down and score a touchdown.
2nd down and 5. Cody Kessler, 3rd round pick out of SC. Obviously, they've got high hopes for him. Ooh! Coming through with the stop, Christian Ringo.
Boy, that was a violent
That is a
takedown.
safety. We've had 3 safeties in this game.
Wow.
How long have we been doing football games together? I mean, a long time.
That was a violent sack.
It was.
That may be one they look at, but boy, he hit him right there. I think that ball was in the end zone when he hit him. Nice takedown by Ringo.
It sure was. The Packers lead at 17-11.
And they get the ball back. Just a little over 2 minutes.
You don't see a
And
safety.
no timeouts.
Rarely do you see 2
Cleveland.
safeties in a game.
No.
We've had 3.
Those guys get excited. You know, they don't get their name in the paper a whole lot, these defensive players. You make a play like that, that's how you get yourself on Sports Center.
Christian was a 6th round pick out of Louisiana Lafayette last year. We haven't talked a lot about Kenny Clark tonight. With B.J. Raji retiring, they've got high hopes for Clark on that defensive line.
Yeah, really surprise retirement. I think caught everyone off guard, but the Packers addressed that with their first-round selection. Kenny Clark at a UCLA. I think he's going to be a good one, Kevin. Dom Capers talked about his wrestling background and how important that is in terms of winning the leverage battle up front with the offensive line.
Lee with a good punt. Abradaris on the 21 for Green Bay. Packers were 30th in punt returns a year ago. Look at him weave his way by midfield and down to the Cleveland 46.
And look at that sideline. Wow.
They love it. 34-yard return. The Wisconsin Lottery presents the 2-minute warning. Packers scratch games are on sale now with a bonus drawing for a private suite for 2 games for $25. Learn more at WILottery.com. We just saw Abradaris with a nice return and a punt. Cleveland is out of timeouts. Green Bay can run it down. The third receiver is a big story among the receiving competition. And Abradaris, with returns like that, is going to make a nice statement for himself.
Yeah, really, he's helping himself. You know, I always say the more you can do. And look, Devontae Adams, you need more from him. Healthy Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb had a bit of a down year last year, so Ty Montgomery was hurt. They've got players. Jeff Janis, they just need some of these guys to step up and stay healthy and work on the consistency.
Clock continues to go. Cleveland cannot stop it. Packers by 6. Williams to a knee. Coming up in the Packers TV Network post-game report, we'll name the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Player of the Game. We'll also look ahead to next week's exhibition game against the Oakland Raiders here at Lambeau. And we'll have some final thoughts on our game tonight and practice for the Packers coming up this week. All on the Packers TV Network post-game report. Packers had the tight ends grab 11 passes tonight, Rich.
That's good, right? That's what I think the point of emphasis clearly was to come out and establish the running game. I think they've done that. They got the tight ends going a little bit. I think it was impressive young quarterback play. I was impressed with both of these young guys, and particularly Joe Callahan. I thought played outstanding in that 2-minute drive in the first half.
You've always said there's no better place in the NFL than to be in that quarterback room in Green Bay with the people that teach it, like McCarthy and Van Pelt. You think they teach quarterbacking as well as any team in the league?
Well, they just take it to a different level, and I think that's why they've had so much success here with these quarterbacks. You talked about Favre earlier, and of course Aaron, and they do a great job coaching that position, developing that position. Young quarterbacks that have started their careers here and have got a chance to go somewhere else and play.
Packers almost 40 minutes time of possession tonight, 151 yards on the ground. They had a couple of safeties, and they come out with a win against the Cleveland Browns tonight in preseason game number 1, 17-11. We return to Lambeau after this on the Packers Television Network.